Okay, let's sit up tall. It's 9:07. Closing the eyes, and immediately we begin to go within that state of pratyahara, the state of being within. Keeping the eyes closed. The eyes closed as much during the practice as you feasibly can. Helps highlight the other senses. And as we talked about earlier, breathing through the nose, we breathe through the nose for many benefits of nose breathing. It's harder to breathe through the nose, 50% harder than breathing through the mouth. But as this Wall Street Journal article said yesterday, we oxygenate our blood 18% more effectively by breathing through the nose. The nose hairs warm the air and filter the air. We breathe more deeply. And the ancients also believed that nadis are more quickly activated. The nadis are the streams of energy, the energy channel points throughout the body, more than we could ever count, I'm sure. Quickly reviewing breath, emotion, body sensation, sound. There's a sound current in everything. And thoughts. So during your practice, at any point, you can go to one of those 5 elements. It gives your mind something to do. The mind can think about your breathing pattern. It could assess your emotion. You can direct the mind to some part of your body, how it's feeling. Of course, the mind is aware of anything happening in the room, so you could focus on sound. And finally, you can observe or assess thoughts. Let's do our tune in with the Adi mantra, the Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. The first chant is for yourself, that you're tuning in with your highest and best self. The second tune in is for the people in this virtual space, all 10 of us. The third chant is for the greater world. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. Adi mantra, inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. With each inhale through the nose, try to sit up just a little bit taller. Sometimes you can imagine there's a string pulling the top of your head up into the ceiling. Also sitting back a bit by taking the back of the head over the lumbar spine. Each inhale, you're lengthening the vertebrae. That neuroplasticity that we work with. The chi, the energy, the life force has to go freely up and down the spinal column to reach the brain. So that's why we work with an enhanced spinal column throughout the practice. Would make sense when we're writing as well, that really we're sitting ergonomically correct. Everything is flowing. Open the eyes for the warm-up. I liked this yesterday when we took our hands flat on the mat behind us, try to walk them back, and you feel it immediately open up the chest. The heart is so exposed here, very vulnerable. Then if you have the flexibility in your neck, just let your head fall back. And then your throat chakra opens up. It's also very vulnerable. Both the heart and the throat are open, exposed to the ceiling. You realize when we're in fear how we try to protect the heart and the throat. We kind of collapse in. Just keep breathing deeply, breathing into the belly. This is the opposite movement of what we do so much of throughout the day. When we're sitting at a screen, we're rounding the shoulders in and over. Fascia is releasing in the arms, the elbows, the forearms, spreading the fingers wide. If you have that deepen contracture in your hands, it helps spread out the pulling of those tendons in the palm. Now slowly drag the arms forward, and then let's come the other way. So the hands, palms are down. I'm now rolling onto my knees. I'm keeping the knees wide, so it's a wide-legged child's pose. So then I bring the forehead, the third eye, to the mat. Really helps open the shoulders. And then try to bring the buttocks, let it release, come closer to the heels. You'll feel it right away in your kidneys, adrenals. The lumbar spine begins to open up. Arms are engaged. You should really feel it opening up the shoulders. Now draw the arms back. Let's come into a cat-cow. Begin to warm up the spine with the cat-cow. Of course, adding your breath. Always being conscious of the breath. Chin out, inhale. Chin to sternum, exhale. And let's curl the toes under, just come forward right into a plank pose. Toes are under, shoulders over, wrists looking straight down. You feel the alignment of your spine when you look straight down. Remember what that feels like, so you try to create this open spinal column during practice as much as you can. Then push back, downward facing dog. Begin to walk out the dog. You feel it in the legs, you feel it in the back. First in the lumbar spine, then you'll feel it in thoracic spine. Neck is relaxed, so the cervical spine is relaxed. The head is just hanging. And let's slowly walk the hands back to the feet. You'll be in your deep forward fold. Just be in your fold. Hands are just resting on the mat. Make sure you have a bend in your knees. Protect the spine. Then tuck the chin and slowly come up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Head will be the last to come up. Let's touch the big toes together, heels slightly separated. Let's interlace the fingers behind our back and pull the hands down, open the shoulders, gaze straight ahead. We're still opening up the shoulders, the heart. If you have the flexibility, float the head back, chin coming forward towards the ceiling. You'll feel more opening in the heart and the throat. Let's sweep the arms up over the head. Hands are palms face each other, about 1.5 feet apart. They're just in line with your shoulders. Try to look up at the ceiling. Float the arms out to the T. Great place to feel your wingspan. Feel the subtle body, how big the energy field can be around your body. That's going to be the next area Western medicine may start to pay attention to, is the subtle body. The eyes are closed, so you turn this into a balancing exercise. Big toes touch, heels slightly separated, so you're standing in a narrower, it's like you're standing on top of a big fence post. What would that be like if you were standing in air and you just had a foot square column that you were standing on? Could you do that? All of a sudden you'd really use all of your feet to make sure you were grounded. All 10 toes would be spread. You'd be using the heel, even the instep, you would try to bring it towards the mat. Gaze is straight ahead. Closed eyes or eyes at 1/10, just looking down at the tip of the nose. arms may begin to get a little tired, a little weary. Then the ego begins to speak because it wants to be in control. Then slowly float the arms down to the side, palms to the front of the room. Shoulders down, relaxed, eyes closed. Just breathe. Checking in, observing the body, your emotional state. Any dominant thoughts this morning? Open the eyes, and we're going to move to what we've been doing in the morning with the crisscrossing. It's great for balance. It really shows how much our brain, how the neuromuscular work begins, how effective it can be in a short period of time. Beginning with the right foot, crossing that. I like to touch my toe. Really helps me stay in balance. Then we add the arms. I'm breathing in and out through the nose with the rhythm of the music. Wow, you look great. Everybody's got it. Good for you to sit this out, Susie. There's a lot of twisting. And take it out wide to the right so the toe is just pointing. Nice place to hold the pose like a dancer. Then bring it in, shake it out. Let's start the left side. Add the breath. And take it wide, hold the toe out, arms out. Then inhale, let's take the arms up. Exhale, down and touch the floor, bend the knees. Inhale, up. Just a few of these toe touches. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Warming up the spine. Inhale up, take the back of the hands over the head, try to give yourself a back bend here so the hands are coming back as far as comfortable. Just giving yourself, it's like doing a cobra standing up. And then float the arms down. Stand in your Tadasana, big mountain pose. Big toes touch, heels separated. Close the eyes, stand tall and breathe. And let's come down, open the eyes to our seated position. Maybe you want some water before we begin the Kriya. This is the easy pose. We come to easy pose, but we bring the soles of the feet together. So it's called Baddha Konasana in Sanskrit. I interlace the fingers in a steeplechase mudra. I wrap them around my toes. There's something interesting about all 20 digits of the body where the hands are holding the toes. Then we move into the 3 minutes of cat-cow. So remember, the head stays straight. We try to keep the head in its position, and we're isolating the cat-cow movement. Inhaling as the belly comes forward, exhaling as I'm crunching in for the cat. Breathing through the nose, always through the nose. You can close the eyes. Or shut the eyes down to 1/10, just a slit. Then you're looking at the end of your nose. Another way to also help calm the mind. Stay with it. We have about a minute and a half more. Isolating the posture to the core, to the third chakra. Inhale, come forward. Let the hips fall open. Hold the breath, suspend the breath. Unless you're on moon cycle, then long, deep breathing. Suspend the breath. You can engage the bandhas. Pull the navel towards the spine. When you do that, the anus and sex organs will contract anyway. You're still holding, squeezing bandhas, and release. Remember, the next 4 postures are the hardest ones in the Kriya. So we come forward for the cobra pose. So give these your all, because after these 4 poses, then it's pretty much a meditative practice. So come down into your cobra pose. The tail of the snake is formed with your feet, big toes touch, heels are touching, tops of the feet on the mat, the shoulders, hands, palms open right under the shoulders. Elbows stay close to the side body. You can have the third eye, sixth chakra, just focused right there on the mat. Inhale, come up to your little baby cobra. Eyes are open, you're just looking down at the mat about 3 inches in front of your face. If you have the flexibility, then come up to a high cobra, arms are extended, or you can come into Sphinx pose here where the palms are flat on the mat and the forearms too. So now you're in your high cobra. This is the one where we curl the toes under, we lift the buttocks, come into plank. Then keep the elbows in tight to the side body. It's just like doing a push-up, using the whole palm of your hand to support the wrist. Forehead comes back down, tops of feet back on the mat. Then I come back to my baby cobra. Then maybe the full extension, a high cobra. Then I curl the toes under, I lift up the buttocks, I'm in plank. Then slowly coming back down again. A slow push-up down, you'll feel this in your shoulders and arms. Forehead back to the mat, this is the sequence. Baby cobra, then full cobra, then curl the toes under, buttocks up. Slowly come down. We just have a minute and a half more of this pose. Do them at your own pace. I'm gonna watch you, observe you now. And if it gets hard to do the plank pose, you can always keep the knees down. It's a modification. You're still getting a nice upper body workout. These are really good because in a lot of yoga poses, we don't have enough upper body workout. Good job keeping the elbows in tight to the side body. Helps protect the elbows and better for the wrists. If we're going to do these poses into our 80s, we need to protect all the body parts. Just 30 more seconds. You're doing a great job. Keep up. Remember, the Kriya is front-loaded with the 4 difficult poses in the beginning. This time when you come down, take the left cheek to the mat, take the arms behind you, just let yourself rest, palms to the ceiling, left cheek on the mat. Then take the right cheek to the mat, stretching out the neck. Now come back onto your knees and just make your way to this squat pose. It's interesting, I can usually get my heels on the mat, but for whatever reason, My heels are not wanting to go down. So I put a blanket under my heels. I don't know if you can see that. But I put this blanket so my heels have something to come onto, or a pillow too you could use. Then my knees come inside the creases of my elbows. Fingers are interlaced, Venus Mudra. And if this is hard for you, you could just sit. Susan's really doing a nice modification. Just sit and try to get your knees up like this. That would be a really good modification. Because you're going to move into breath of fire now. This is difficult. Setting the clock here. So I'm looking straight forward, but my neck and spine are in a comfortable position. Beginning breath of fire. Really clears out the dead, stale air in the lungs. The forced exhale through the nose. Inhale, it's automatic. That breath of fire, when you do that exhale, the belly really draws in and just pushes the dead air out of the lower parts of the lungs. If you gaze down at the mat, that puts your spine in a nice alignment. The cervical spine is in a nice alignment with the thoracic spine. Just looking down about 2 feet in front of you on your mat. One more minute. Forced exhale through the nose. You're really using the abdominal muscles to do this. Fingers are engaged. Knees can be pushing on creases of elbows. This forces you to breathe deeply. Twenty more seconds. Big inhale through the nose. And suspend the breath. Hold the breath. Hold the breath. Pull the navel towards the spine. Very interesting position to do this pull of Uddiyana Bandha. And release. Now we lie onto our backs and we raise the legs up to 12 o'clock. So the legs are just coming up and down. We lay down on our forearms. So the palms are flat underneath the buttocks. That way we protect the lower spine. So my forearms, my palms are flat. We try to do this for 90 seconds. I know it's challenging. Inhale up, point the toes, exhale down. Inhale up, just let the energy of everyone in the practice to help carry you through it. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Back of head can stay on the mat. Really using your core. If it gets too hard, just rest out for a minute. Well, not a minute, because we're only going to go less than a minute, but for a few moments. Just 30 more seconds. You can do it. Really working on the core, working on the lumbar spine. The core, when it's strong, protects the spine so you can lift things and not injure yourself. And let's take it down and just from here, we're going to come around onto our stomachs. It's the last part of the Kriya that's really hard. This is the boat pose, remember? So I interlace the fingers over my buttocks. I'm in cobra pose. Then I inhale, I lift my face up, my chin is pointing down to the mat. I try to lift my feet, toes are pointed. It's hard just with long, deep breathing, but the cue actually calls for a breath of fire. So if you can be in this boat pose with the legs lifted, the arms lifted, the neck, head lifted, then try to add a little breath of fire. You really feel your stomach pull in. Just 30 more seconds. Good job, everyone. 10 more seconds. Inhale. Take the arms down, take the neck to the left, the cheek, left cheek on the mat, palms at your side, palms to the ceiling. Just enjoy the release. And right cheek to the mat, stretching out the neck the other way. Then come back up to a seated position. You're going to move to legs up against the wall. Viparati Karini. The legs up against the wall, we bring our hip right beside the wall. And then when you're really close to the wall, then it's easier to lay back and take the legs up. And the buttocks should be right up against the wall. Just long, deep breathing here. It gives the heart a rest. It opens the lower lumbar spine. You can also move into shoulder stand if that's part of your practice. I hesitate teaching that when I can't be there with you. This pose is the benefits of this pose. It helps regulate blood flow, blood pressure. It's known to alleviate menstrual cramps. It can relieve swollen ankles and varicose veins because you're reversing blood flow. Restores tired feet, of course. It stretches the back of the neck, the front torso, and the hamstrings. Great time to keep pulling yourself back to the moment. If the mind wants to go forward in time or backwards in time, just bring it back to the present moment. And now slowly come out of it. Just slide the legs down to the side. And then should be able to just roll over right onto your knees and come back up to the mat and set up for a spinal roll. You know, where we take the knees in towards the forehead towards the knees, and then we begin to roll. On the back of the head, you're working the thoracic, the lumbar, and the cervical spine. And then let's come back to a seated position. We'll come, if it's okay for you, come on to your sitting on your heels, this thunderbolt Vajrasana pose. If this is hard for you, then just sit in easy pose. You might want a drink of water. This is where we add in the Sat Kriya. This is one of the most used meditations in Kundalini Yoga. practitioners that practice all the time say it's one of the most powerful kriyas. We interlace the fingers, steeplechase mudra, arms are up. We try to get the arms as close to the ears as we can. The inhale is sat, and I'm pulling the belly in. Then on the nam, the belly relaxes. So it's sat, it's so sat, the belly comes in, nam, the belly gets loose and fat. 5 minutes. You may be sweating by the time you're done. Try to do the Satnam, try to say the mantra, the Gurmukhi language mantra. Truth is my identity, the same thing we say when we end class, or it's also a greeting in Kundalini Yoga live classes. Inhale, exhale, let's begin. Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. So really pull that belly in on Sat, then on the Nam it relaxes. So Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. Inhale. Really point the fingers up to the ceiling. You're really stretching the arms, stretching the spine. Oh, so long. Big inhale. Let's hold the breath. And squeeze the bandhas. First, second, third. Take the navel towards the spine. Sex organs, anus squeezed. Really reaching to the ceiling. And slowly release. Let the arms come down. Hands rest on the knees, palm down. Just observe that marvelous integration of body, mind, spirit. Moments of some magic. And just lie back in your Shavasana, 5 minutes Shavasana. Same amount of time as we did Sat Kriya. I'll bring you back with the bell and we'll do the meditation for the calm heart with the Astor Piazzolla Tanti Ana Prima. Let everything go. Good work, everyone. Begin to breathe together, breathing in through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, big exhale. One last inhale through the nose. Audible sigh, big exhale. Now while you're still in this state of pratyahara, this state being within, just make your way back up to a seated position. Keep the eyes closed if you can. This brain is quieter. You're feeling more still. It's a wonderful time for meditation. We bring meditation in at the end because the mind has been prepared by the practice, the movement, the asana, the breath work. All is to help quiet the mind. So you're able to go deeper. This is Astor Piazzolla, hand on heart, fingers pointing to the right, Gyan Mudra like a pledge. Just take the music in. Focusing on gratefulness. Move to the held breath, the 30-second holds. Mudras stay the same. Big inhale through the nose. And hold. Slight squeeze in the bandhas. For 15 seconds. And release, exhale. Inhale again through the nose. And hold the breath. Squeeze the bandhas. And the legs stay relaxed, even though the bandhas have a slight squeeze. Creating hypoxia in the brain, neural pathways lighting up, mental clarity, and release. Accessing intuition. Inhale through the nose. Big inhale, deep inhale. And hold the breath. Squeezing the bandhas lightly, and legs are relaxed. No gripping in the legs. And release. Let's take the arms down. Just rest slightly. Gyan Mudra, thumb, index finger, back of hands on knees. Just observe. This is a Kriya for the instinctual self. Working on intuition, 6th chakra. Day 69, the end of our 10th week. Open your eyes, make your way back for another Shavasana, this time for 7 minutes, then we'll come up and do our closing. Letting everything go. Most important posture of the day. The full integration of body, mind, spirit. Muscle memory is working to catalog what you've done physically. Cataloging all your breath work. I'll bring you back with the sound of the bell. Begin to breathe together. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. One last time. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take the arms over the head. Interlace the fingers. Point the index fingers to the back of the room behind you. Point the toes. Really stretch out the vertebrae. Be conscious of the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine. Maybe you draw the soles of the feet in towards your groins. You could rub the soles of your feet and your hands. Let the knees fall open, Supta Baddha Konasana. Wonderful hip opener. Activating all those nerve endings on the bottom of the feet and the palms. Maybe you take the left knee over the right, like you're sitting in a chair, and then just take the knees to the side, torso and face to the opposite side. So you're stretching out, giving yourself a wonderful spinal twist. Make sure if you do one side, you do the other side. Maybe you draw the knees in towards the forehead towards the knees, rounding into a little ball. Remember last week in the Kriya where we got so small like this. We got into this little tiny position, then breathe deeply. Getting a sense of the subtle body coming in as small as you can be. Maybe you grab the outsides of your feet for a happy baby pose. And slowly coming up to your sitting pose, your Sukhasana, sitting on heels or an easy pose with knees out to the side. Coming into prayer position. Just the last few moments of Pratyahara. Integrating body, mind, spirit. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jason, for being on your mat, creating community, creating wellness, creating absolute wellness with deep breath work, deep pranayama work. Maintaining our equanimity as we move into another time of uncertainty. All we can do is make sure we have peace within ourselves and that we're creating wealth and health, all kinds of abundance to share with others. We close with the long-time sun. May the long-time sun shine upon you.
May the long-time sun shine upon you.
All love surround you.
All love
surround you.
And the pure light within you
And the pure light within you
guides your way on.
guide your way
Guide
on.
your way on.
We bow to each other and we say Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.
Satnam.